Right, this is really, really awkward, but welcome to the first episode of My Effin Skipper. I'm Dan. With me, I've got Jacob and Aston. If you want to say hello, guys.
My Effin Skipper. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
All right, G.
But yeah. So obviously, in this first episode, we're just going to talk about pretty much anything, but mainly focus on Villa. We asked on Twitter for some suggestions on what people want us to talk about in this episode. If you want to go and follow us on Twitter, it's literally just at Effin Skipper. Just checking now, we're currently on 162 followers, which that in itself is a bit mad considering we've got 9 tweets and we made the account like not even 72 hours ago.
So, most of them aren't even actually that you tweeting, it's just retweets as well, like me and
literally. But yeah, I mean, we've got a couple of things to talk about in this episode. I guess the first place to start would be just prediction for Liverpool. So yeah, I mean,
do you want to go first?
Yeah. So I made some notes on their season so far, and because I know that they've drawn 2 and lost 1. And I was thinking, I'm praying that they lost to Watford at home and drew at home, but they've won every game at home.
Yeah, they're like, I saw it. I think yesterday. A tweet went up of like the current best home unbeaten records, and I think it's Liverpool on 56, and I can't remember who the next team was, but there was like 8 or something. So there's a big fucking difference.
It's so stupid how well they're doing this season, but one thing that I did know is that the fact that they lost to Watford, I mean, it's very unlikely, but the fact that they lost to Watford, who are in the same position as us, that might play on their mind because we're the first team they're playing in that position since Watford. So
yeah,
maybe they'll think we can't do that again.
We're a different breed of team, though, man. Like,
what? Just shit.
No, but like. A team like Watford could beat Liverpool, but I don't know if it's just because I'm a Villa fan, but when you think of Villa, you just think we're not going to do it. Like, if there's ever a player that's on, for example, on really bad form, hasn't scored in 10 games, they're playing Villa, they'll go and fucking score against us. We're just that kind of team. Like, we don't have the luck of the draw to beat teams like that.
No, not a chance. But
definitely not this season.
The only thing that's making me slightly hopeful that they might play their kids is that obviously the title's decided, they've won it, but also they're playing Man City 3 days before they play us, which that's virtually no time at all, especially considering by the time we play, we'll have had 8 days off as opposed to their 3.
Yeah, I think they could play the kids, but I didn't actually know they had Man City soon, so that could play a factor. But
yeah, they played Man City.
I think it might be too soon, but I thought that maybe they would play the kids like the last couple of games, and even if they do, they might not play the kids against us, but they might still play like a rotated team or whatever.
Even then, I was talking to my mate about if they do like start a rotated team, and even then I was thinking about who their rotated front 3 would be. And that is still like Origi, Shaqiri, and Minamino, which would still destroy us really with our current.
Barely, yeah. Shaqiri barely gets a sniff, does he? And Minamino's like just come in or whatever. Yeah, that's scary. But we should have had a point against them first game. But we were a different team the first time we played them. Since then, we've dropped
first half of the season. First half of the season, we looked like we could finish mid-table, maybe even top half, especially that 2-0 or 2-1 win against Everton at home.
2-0, yeah.
Because the second goal went in like pretty much last minute. But
that was the last time I saw us play good on a Monday night. I don't think.
But one thing that I have also noted about Liverpool is I've worked out what their aggregate score is against the bottom teams.
Oh, no.
And with Norwich, their aggregate score, they've won 5-1. They've still got to play Brighton once, but when they did play them earlier this season, they won 2-1, and that was with Alisson getting sent off, although it was in the 76th minute. Bournemouth, they won 5-1 as well. Watford, obviously, they lost 3-2 on aggregate. And West Ham was 5-2 on aggregate. But to basically just sum up what my prediction is, like as such for Liverpool is that I think we're going to lose. I think that's pretty much a given. But I'm just hoping, like I'm praying to God that we don't get a thrashing like Man City at home, because our goal difference at the moment, thanks to the games that have happened yesterday, our goal difference has had a massive helping. And if we go on to lose 5-0 on Sunday, then our goal difference is back to where we started, and we can't be doing that.
I was almost going to come into this very positive because of yesterday, but then it all just went to tits with that Chelsea game.
Oh
yeah. I mean, after the Chelsea game, I was thinking, right, that's definitely it, because West Ham now are they've just got 3 points against a big team. But then I completely forgot about Watford. Like, they're only 1 point ahead of us.
Yeah.
So
West Ham's 3 now, so they're fucking buzzing.
Yeah, Bournemouth's run, I know for a fact, is hard, but then so is ours. I mean, it's so annoying that teams will start to pick up form just as they're about to play us. Like,
yeah, and we're just not anyway.
It's the fact
we should have lost it. We should have lost to Sheffield because that goal should have obviously counted.
Yeah.
I thought we looked okay against Chelsea in the first few. Well, I mean, to be honest, we held our own quite well and nicked the goal, but we weren't exactly inspiring. And then the Wolves game, I didn't once think we were ever going to score against them. Even that Grealish chance, I think that was our only shot on target. So
I've heard that it was awful. I've seen Nyland's mistake, which I've always, from since before the restart, I've said Nyland is not a good enough goalkeeper to be starting consistently in the Premier League. And then
I've always preferred Reina. I thought when Reina come in, he done very well, and I think that people have used that Leicester run out and they've just called him shit from it. But that was very fucking terrible. But I still don't think he is less better than Nyland or even Jed Steer at this point. He was so good in the cut though as well, and he just can't catch a ball.
Thing, though. That's the thing though, because every time I've called out Nyland and said that he's not good enough, people have used the cup run as but he did well in the cup. But look at the teams we played in the cup. We played Liverpool's kids. We even played Wolves' kids.
Yeah.
Who else? We played Crew.
He was good against Leicester the second leg. I can't really remember the first leg if he had to do much, or if he even played. I don't know if we played Reina or it was Nyland. And then he was good in the final as well, I think. But his reflexes are very good. It's just his handling. It's really shit. He literally cannot catch anything. Every game we've had since the restart, he's had a P-roller shot, and he will always he won't catch it. He'll save it, but he'll bundle it out a tiny bit and then bring it back. And he did that nearly every time. And that throw, I don't even what the fuck that was. I think since that Sheffield goal, he's just, I don't know, his head's just dropped a little bit.
Thing is, going back to obviously talking about Liverpool, one thing that I looked at was because they've only played 2 games since the restart, and that was Everton and Palace.
They were poor against Everton.
That's the thing, though. In the Everton game, they had 67% possession, 9 shots, but only 3 of them were on target, and they just couldn't seem to score. But then Liverpool are the kind of team that we're not, in the sense that they're able to just bounce back. They had that shocking performance, and then they're
also a team that when they're playing bad, they're still better than us, so they can still win if they're playing terribly against us. If we play terribly, then it's very unlikely we'll get a result. It's unlikely we play good and get a result as well. So it's going to be 5 at the back again. Well, it's going to be 5 at the back, 1 striker. I think he'll go. I don't think he'll go to up top again. I don't know if he's going to play Davis or he's going to play.
The thing is, though, as much as I do like Davis, I don't think he should be starting him over Samatta.
They've got pros and cons that kind of balance each other. Davis is very good at making chances for himself, bullying players off the ball, keeping the ball, holding it, or bringing people into play. Samatta can hold up, bring people into play, but he's not as good on the ball as Davis. He can't. I don't think he can really make a chance for himself. Davis can, but then the flip side to that is Samatta. Yeah. Samatta can finish, and Davis can't. So we've literally got. He's good at this. He's good at this. He's bad at this. He's good at that thing that he's bad at, but he's also bad at that thing he's good at. So we've got like two polar fucking opposite strikers.
Speaking of you bringing up the lineup, then that's probably perfect time to move on to the next topic, and that is what would our ideal lineups be? Because I've said for mine, Reina in goal, because Nyland, like I say, since the restart, he's just been poor.
Yeah.
But I don't think Smith will do that.
His head, I think he's going to stick with him. Even in the interview afterwards, he was very he didn't really address it. He just said, "Oh, I don't remember Nyland having to make a save against Wolves," so he didn't really address it. So,
so I've gone for a back four, and I've said, because obviously Matt Targett's out injured, and I do not trust Neil Taylor with anything. So
I don't know. He did all right when he came on against Wolves, I thought.
Yeah, to be fair.
Oh, but it's just him though, isn't it? It's just such a Neil Taylor thing to come on as a sub and do well, but then start and be awful.
Be bad, yeah. He's got that stigma attached to him. I think he's quite. I think he's quite underrated, to be fair. I don't think he's obviously fucking. He's definitely not a modern day left back. He can't fucking get past the halfway line that shit. No. But at times he does actually hold his own, and Adama didn't do anything. Granted, it was mainly Douglas Luiz that was on him, and he had to keep fouling him or whatever. But he didn't get a sniff in that game.
But yeah, so my back four that I've gone for is Horse at left back, Mings left centre back, Konsa right centre back, and then hopefully if he's fit, I want Gilbert back in.
Yeah,
I want to see if he can regain his ability that he had at the start of the season. But if Gilbert's not fit, I want El Mohammadi there.
Can we just spin off Gilbert for a second? Can I ask what the fuck is wrong with him? Why is he not playing? Because I actually know. People saying he came back overweight and stuff. Some people saying he was injured. I don't know.
I've seen that he had I think he was a knee injury.
Yeah.
People were saying he came back overweight or something. Which I mean, he probably, if he was injured, he probably did. But like,
I think,
yeah, I would play Gilbert as well. I think Concert and Horse have actually been good, apart from that weird fucking pass back that Horse did. That Luiz had to cut out. I think they've actually been okay, but I don't know about Concert at right back because he's not really got that attacking attribute. But then again, he put that dirty cross in that we should have scored from. I think it was. He was on the end of it now.
Trezeguet.
Was it Trezeguet? Trezeguet, yeah. That's it. You were saying anyway. Your lineup for Liverpool.
Yeah. So just to go back over it, I've got Reina in goal, then Horse, Mings, Konsa, Gilbert, El Mohammadi if Gilbert's not fit, and then CDM, Luiz, two centre mids, Hurahan and McGinn, and then Grealish at cam. Purely because I think. Obviously, Grealish at cam, obviously no-brainer. Hurahan, he's the only one that I'm not 100% sure on because I feel like he is a lot better coming off the bench. But at the same time, I really don't want to see Drinkwater starting. And we don't really have another centre, like just standard centre mid. Because you can't play Luiz and Nakamba at the same time.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Because Nakamba's too one-dimensional. So he would have to play that holding role, but Luiz right now is doing very well there, so he has to play. So we can't play both. We can't have two players like that.
Exactly.
Plus Nakamba's he's hit and miss sometimes, but yeah, he's very one-dimensional. He's not going to be an attacking threat for us. Whereas Hurahan, at least, even though a lot of games he's not doing much and he's fucking basically not there. He can put a cross in. He's there for free kicks. He's a half decent passer. He can make those penetrative passes. Which Nakamba he's just fucking pass sideways, backwards defending, which is fine, but we can't have him and Luiz in at the same time. But
just mentioning Luiz, man, how class has he been since the restart?
Yeah,
honestly.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
he's been unreal. Good. I mean, he's been unreal when we've we apologise to Fake on Twitter about it.
Yeah, he has been very good. I always take the piss on Twitter about Luis, but he has definitely been our best player since coming back. But I think I was right in saying that he hadn't shown enough for us in the beginning. I know he's only 21 or whatever, but
yeah, 100%.
He definitely wasn't doing half of what he is doing now, especially defensively. Defensively now, he's like a different person. He's been very, very good. Because I thought one of his weak points of his game was actually, for someone that is meant to be a holding midfielder, he wasn't really a big presence in the defence. But he's literally been like another centre-back.
Yeah.
When we've come back, he has been like an extra centre-back, and he's always been there. He saved Horse's skin when he did that poor pass back. He's getting back for clearances and stuff, so he has been very good. And his attacking has been a little bit better. I think he's made more penetrative passes into the box. He's been passing it forward more. Anything I would say is sometimes Jack wants him to get forward and he wants to play a forward pass to him, and he just stays and he's got to pass it back again, and it slows the game down a bit. But yeah, he definitely has been our best player.
His balling though, when we scored against Chelsea, what a ball that was.
Yeah,
that was.
It's got that in him. He has got that in him. We saw it when we were fucking awful against Brighton, and they just picked that Jack with that pass.
Oh yeah.
But I think just the only problem is it's taken him this long to be consistently good. Because he
is young. That's the thing. And I've said from the start, even when he was playing relatively like poorly, I've said from the start that you can see parts of him like at times where you know for a fact that there is a future really good player in there, but it only came out in glimpses. Whereas since the restart, I think it's come out a lot more. I mean, he's obviously not the player yet that he can be, but he's getting there now rather than constantly being not bad, but not good at the same time, and only showing his ability a little bit.
I've always took the piss and said like on Twitter about him, but he has always had that ability to like beat a man, a little cute turn, a little cute dribble, a decent pass in him. But he just consistently putting it together into a string of games, and it's taken him this long to do it. So I will say that he has been our best player coming back. I don't know if I would go against my word of what I said by him before, because he was genuinely not sort of playing consistently well enough to make big impacts in the side. That's why you saw him coming off the bench a lot of the time as well.
But yeah, do you two want to? What would you say your lineups are? Similar to mine, or?
I'll go with Taylor at left back, not Horse. I don't want to see 5 at the back, but we're probably going to go 5 at the back, so it's probably going to be Horse, Mings. I don't know actually. Well, if Gilbert's back, Constable will play centre back.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what's happening with Engels.
I feel like Dean Smith's one of those people that he only played 2 up top to shut everybody up.
Oh yeah.
He knows that everyone's been crying out for 2 up top, and I feel like he's the type of person to play 2 up top to just shut everybody up, but then when we don't win that game, blame it on everybody else and be like, look, you wanted to see it, I gave it to you, and look what happened.
How he put 2 up top on the Newcastle game after we concede. It should have been when we're trying to score goals. But as soon as we concede, with 2 up top, it's just
we seem to click when we concede. When we concede, we play the best football we played the whole game, and we look like we're going to score. It's fucking annoying because it always happens. It'll be 5 at the back.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Louise McGinn, Hourihan, I would imagine.
And mine's pretty similar to Dan's, to be fair.
You've probably just got El Mohammadi starting.
If Gilbert can't play, I would play Al Mohammadi definitely over Constable.
Yeah, 100%.
He was one of the more positive players that against Wolves when he came on.
Oh yeah.
Asking for the ball, taking it forward, trying to get in. I didn't see that from anyone else. So not even Grealish, man. Grealish is not.
He's been very, very, very quiet.
I can't blame him, to be honest, because he's been doing it all season for us, apart from the first few games. Because the first few games it was McGinn's team. McGinn was scoring the goals and everything.
It's all him.
Grealish was taking a while to get in. I think I remember him saying like Terry said to him at the start of the season, every time he started his season as well, he was always slow to get going. And the same happened with Grealish. After about 4 or 5 games, he was our best player. I think maybe that's what's happened now. He's not played for a while, and he's just had that restart. But it's a shame because actually despite the results and how poor we played against Wolves and stuff, we've actually we've actually kind of looked a little bit better as a defensive unit and stuff, and people like Louise are playing better. So it's a shame that now there are a few others that are picking up. Grealish is the one that's actually behind.
It's a funny thing how the 2 goal scorers who came back has been House and El Mohammadi. Not a single attacker has scored yet, and 2 defenders have.
By the way, we're so poor from set pieces. I'm not like defending. I know we're poor from defending, but like we had so many free kicks opportunities in from like Huron and stuff, and the balls are poor. And if it is a good ball, every time we seem to head it, it's just a shit over the top header. House gets headers on it and it goes over. Fucking Mings is 6'5", and I don't think he scored a header for us this season.
I think we have such good players who can use their head, but they just don't use them. They're like Wesley. A massive strong, but he just can't use his head.
Kind of miss Wesley.
Same.
I kind of appreciate now more his hold-up play and how he was good at bringing players in. I watched the I can't remember what game I was watching, but he's just like, he's night and day compared to Samatta in terms of his physicality and stuff.
The next thing that we got asked on Twitter was what our thoughts on Dean Smith, the assistants, and our recruitment was. But I think it's a bit of a given that it's a tough one to answer, because yes, we've been pretty woeful at times, but Smith isn't playing with his players. But then at the same time, he's had a whole season and a 3-month break, so he should be used to them by now. Yeah, Terry does nothing, but you can't forget that it's his first job, so he's still learning. But recruitment has been a complete shambles.
The whole like assistant manager thing is such a fucking farce. Like you don't know. I don't know how much input Richard O'Kelly actually has. Is he just fucking? He's just like the third wheel.
You know what I see it,
or is it Terry that's just taking the seat back and listening to those?
That's what I think. I think it's Terry, because the way I see it is that Dean Smith's the manager, then Richard O'Kelly's the assistant, and then John Terry is the apprentice. He's on an apprenticeship that's just there. He's only there to learn, really.
Currently, he can't coach a bad defensive unit into a good one because he's had no positive influence on how we're defending from set pieces and stuff. So
if his specific job is to make the defence good, then I think it's unfair to put that burden on him, because our defence is fairly shocking. But on paper, it's good. That's what I don't.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Individually, Mings has his like weird shaky moments, but he is good.
He's an England international. That you don't just get gifted that. I mean, Jack's still waiting for his call up, but
Engels and Mings were very good at the start of the season.
I remember at the start of the season saying to my mate that we've robbed him blind when we bought Engels, because he did seem very good.
He looked class in pre-season as well. Everyone looked fucking amazing in pre-season. I thought I was watching the fucking top 16.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is, though, I think going down this season is worse than when we went down in the 15-16 season.
Definitely, we will lose so much better players.
Because
I actually think it's better, but I'll let you say what you're going to say.
I can see why you'd say that, because on one side it kind of is, but I mean from the perspective that our team is 100 times better than the team that got relegated in 15-16, minus a few players, and we've been having like hopeful moments where we've been like, oh, they've lost and we've won, we might stay up. Whereas in 15-16, we knew it was coming. We were relegated the minute we kicked the first ball. But
yeah,
I can see where you're coming from when you say about how it's better, because if you look at it from a rebuild side, then it is 1,000 times better, because we've got owners who want to invest money. We've got some players that won't leave that we can build a team around.
Yeah, we're going down with a lot of already good championship caliber players. Like Mings will, I think, will stay. I don't know if McGinn will stay, but if he does, he's going to be immense. I think Conser and Horse will be fine in the championship.
Target, I think he's going to want Target.
Target will stay, I think, and he's good in the championship. Gilbert will probably be the same.
He might.
Gilbert, I think Gilbert
Wesley?
is 100% staying.
Wesley will stay because he's not played and he's been injured or whatever. I don't think anyone will go in for him because that's a big risk.
No one will be looking at him. He's barely been playing.
A player that's just been picked up a big injury and he wasn't really scoring many goals anyway. They're not going to take a risk on him just yet, so we'll have him in the Championship, you'd imagine. I think when I think it's better us going down now, we've got much better spirit in the dressing room. We've got a lot of players that will stay that are actually decent. Going back to the question, thoughts on the Smith and the assistants and recruitment. We've played some good football at times this season.
Oh yeah.
Going back to early on the season, we were playing some good football. The Burnley game, the first Burnley game where we had the VAR goal rule, that I thought was very good there, that we didn't win in the end. The Spurs game, I thought we were good at the start of the season. Bournemouth game, we weren't great. We lost, but we have played some good football this season. Somewhere down the line, we've had big performances as well against the Liverpool game that we ended up losing last minute. Man United game, we had a good performance. Arsenal, we were good until they got 10 men and then it just went all to tits. There's a game in there somewhere that I can't think of where we had a turning point, and that's when we just started playing bad and not like how we were playing before. Went to 5 at the back and we're fucking hoofing the ball up to Wesley or whatever, and now it's just Keenan Davis and Samata. No passing about anymore. And the thing is, when we start passing it about, we actually fucking get chances. For Wolves game, we were just hoofing it. Mings to fucking up top, and then the one time we actually passed the ball around, Grealish had our only shot on target. And then you got to compile that with the fact that Smith's playing with a lot of players in there that here's the thing though with that, you don't actually know who's a Dean Smith signing and who is a Suso signing. I would perhaps suggest maybe a lot of it is Suso's influence. Obviously he's gonna confide in Dean Smith with it, but he's basically gonna say, we're gonna go and look at this player. I think we should get this player, and Smith is probably players like Trezeguet, Nakamba, Wesley as well, probably just players that aren't used to playing in England, have never played in the league before, and not used to the physicality. Just big risk signings when you've got players that are used to the country and stuff, and are actually
like
very
Calvin
good players.
Phillips.
Yeah, Phillips, Ben Rama, the usual names.
And Bowen as well. We were looking at
Ezzy at QPR.
Yeah.
Think Danny Ings cost Southampton 20 million. Wesley was 22 million. Danny Ings is one of the top scorers in the league, and he was a proven scorer.
He's always been a proven scorer. The Golden Boot.
He's always been a proven scorer in the league. Even at Burnley, he was class. That's why Liverpool got him. The only thing with Liverpool is they just benched him all the time and just loaned him out. So we've paid £2 million more, which is already quite a big sum anyway. 22 million for a player that's not played in this league and has played in a pretty poor league outside of 2 or 3 teams. And we've relied on him to get us goals, and he's done well, to be fair to him. But so if Smith was allowed to sign more of his players, the Ben Ramas,
more players,
people like that, players he knows, I think we'd have fared much better. And I think Suso's probably going now, and the rumor is that he is getting the boot. So
rightly so as well. I mean, because obviously he has to have with his role, he has to have a say in every single one of the transfers. Whereas Smith, he doesn't have to. If Suso says, I want this person, and the owners say, okay, they can just rock up on Smith's door and say, by the way, we've just bought this player, he's yours now.
Yeah.
Do something 100%. With him. So I feel I've always hated the idea of having someone like a role that is Suso's role. If the manager's going to be the one that has to pick the team, play them in his style, let him pick the players. Don't give him players that he doesn't know anything about, doesn't like using. Like, it's stupid.
It's the modern way now. A manager used to mean, or a head coach, or whatever you want to say, a manager used to buy the players, pick the team, do the tactics. Now, a lot of them, I think Pochettino had it at Spurs, didn't he? He was literally just there to pick the team, to do the tactics. Had no say in the transfers or anything.
I just don't like it. It's not a good
and you end up getting players like Trezeguet who just outside of a shit league and for Egypt in the fucking World Cup or whatever.
Yeah, at least he's going now, isn't he? Who was he linked with again?
Oh, it's like Galatasaray or Besiktas or someone like that, I think.
Yeah.
Fenerbahce, one of the Turkish league teams again.
You literally got a team this season.
Some players just can't. Some players just can't do it in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I can understand why we got him, because he did look a good player, and his stats were half decent. But when you come here, it's just a different kettle of fish. Same with Wesley, but I think Wesley will get better.
I mean, that thing is, now that we've said our piece on all of that, and we've kind of started to talk about the players that we bought, probably the perfect time to again go on to the next thing that someone asked, and they want to know what signings, like realistic signings, we think we should make. One, if we stay up, and then also for if we go down. So I've written mine down because I've
got mine
had
as well.
these players that I've wanted for a long time anyway, and if we by some miracle stay up, I've got 4 because I didn't want to list like a whole new team because that's the mistake that we made this season.
Yeah.
But the 4 that I've got is Ben Rama, but then again, that's only if Brentford don't win the playoffs or don't get automatics, because if Brentford come up, they are not going to sell anybody. I've got Eberechi Eze from QPR. I feel like he'd be a decent young replacement for Jack when he leaves.
He is not Jack Grealish, but he is very similar in the way he plays.
He's as close as you're gonna get. Buendia from Norwich, because I do think he's a class player, and I think it's basically confirmed that Norwich is down now.
He would be a great shout for the Championship as well if we went down.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd be incredible in the Championship.
And then I've also said, just as because I'm not sure what's going to happen with Samatta and Wesley. Obviously, the chances are they're both going to stay. But in case they don't, I've also said Callum Wilson if Bournemouth go down.
Is this if we stay up?
Yeah, if we stay up.
Okay. I couldn't really think. Because I don't think we'll actually sign another striker if we do keep Wesley and Samatta. I don't know if he will.
No,
he will. He will. He might do for the bench or whatever. But
yeah. That's why I say that Callum Wilson. I feel like it'd only be a signing that we'd make if one of them left. Yeah, Wesley go.
Yeah.
But for going down, it's hard to think of players, but I've said Buendia again because I feel like we can just, even though there will be Premier League interested,
deciding
the
relegation signings is hard because there's so many moving parts.
Exactly.
It depends on how if the players' team goes up, if we go down or whatever. There's a lot of moving parts to it. So I didn't actually get that many names down for if we go down. More or less the same players, to be honest, because the kind of players that would still join us if we went down, as long as their team didn't go up.
I've got I've gone for Eze again because I think even in the Championship we could get him.
I've got Eze as well. I've got Eze.
Class. Sorry.
I've got Eze for both. I love him, man. I love him to death. Yeah. I've seen him play a few times in real life, and it's so much like Grealish. Carrying the team as well at his age. I think he's 21, and you can when you watch QPR play, you can tell they lean on so much. He can play left, right, attacking mid, exactly the same as Grealish. He's a bit quicker than Grealish. He wins a lot of fouls like Grealish. I think at one point he was one of the most foul players in the Championship. He might actually be the most foul player in the Championship. I'm not too sure, but at one point he was up there.
Yeah,
and he
is class.
He's a bit quicker than Grealish. He's probably a tiny bit stronger than Grealish. So yeah, he would be a very good replacement. I don't know how he will adapt to the Premier League if we were to stay up, but definitely in the Championship if we went down. And obviously he would leave QPR for us 100% because then.
Oh yeah.
My last one for going down, I've got Rico Henry, but again that's if Brentford don't go up. Because I have liked Rico Henry for a long time, and I know that we were interested in him. While we were in the Championship.
We do need a left back. I was going to mention actually about left back. We do need to get one in because obviously Taylor's Taylor. Target hasn't really got any competition for his place because he doesn't get in over Neil Ted doesn't get in over target, so he needs a bit of competition for his place, and maybe it'll perk him up a bit. I think he's half decent. I think he does some things well. He defends well at times. He defends poorly at times. He has a good link up with Grealish on the left, and has done well with that. But I think he needs that bit of competition to take him to a little bit of a next level. I don't know who though, to be honest. Rico Henry is a fair show. I think we'll see one or two Brentford signings come in if Suso did leave. If it works out for us, if they don't go up or whatever, and we stay up, or vice versa.
What about a winger replacement though? Because Elgaard's and Trezeguet will probably go. I've heard that Elgaard is already looking. That could easily be a rumour.
What, you think El Ghazi will leave if we went down?
Yeah, apparently he's been looking.
I thought he'd have stayed, but I haven't seen that. But I thought he'd have been one of the ones that stayed because he was good in the Championship as well.
And the same with like Trezeguet, he'll probably go. I just can't think of any wingers that we could sign.
Trezeguet would go, apart from Ben Rama. But then
apart from Ben Rama, but I think Brentford will go up.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue.
Would you go in for Joe Lolly?
Oh, actually, yeah, that's a shout. I doubt Forest will go because they're not going to win the playoffs over Brentford.
I don't know about Lolly in the Premier League. Lolly in the Championship, definitely.
Yeah. Never know about
in the
Graben
Championship,
well.
definitely.
Yeah. Championship, yeah. I had for staying up, I had Ezzy as well. By the way, 12 goals, 8 assists for QPR this season for a very, very fucking bad QPR team.
Yeah.
I had Tuan Zebi. That's very big.
For Grealish.
That's a very big. I had some about Grealish for a swap deal, but it's with Man City. Going back to Target, needing a bit of competition at left back. I threw in there maybe fucking ask Man City to chuck Zinchenko to us on loan or something as part of the Grealish deal.
He plays too much first team football for them.
You can't really think of any left backs, can you?
He's played like 12 games, I think, in the league for this season, something like that. I don't know if they're going to start. I don't know if they're going to start preferring him to Mendy or not. Mendy gets fucking injured so much, so.
Yeah.
Tuan Zebi, I've got. That's a big if. They're still not playing him. He's still rotting on their bench.
Yeah.
And they're always seem to be rumoured to get in another centre back as well. So he just seems to not want to play him. So if we did stay up, if we stayed up and just ask him, inquire about him, I guess. Was he not even making the bench, was he, when they had 9 men on the bench, or have I made that up?
I don't think so, but I think he might. There's a chance that he's injured because he is relatively.
I think he's fit now, though.
That's what I thought. It's a hard one because obviously you never know.
Yeah, United fans I talk to usually say that he doesn't play because he's injured.
I just don't think he plays, to be honest. They just don't want to use him. He's so good. I think he'd be good in the Premier League as well, like he was in the Championship, and he played right back as well. So I'd get him if they really. He has just signed a new deal, but they're not using him, so inquire about him. Try and
mine's
loan
pretty
him
similar as well.
if we stay up.
So that Carlin Grant, as I said earlier, he's got 18 goals and 4 assists, and he's only 22.
Yeah,
he's a proven Championship
striker,
goal scorer. So he'd be perfect.
Yeah, it's one of them where
he'd be big for the Championship, kind of like what Graben was doing, scoring a lot of goals for the Leicester Championship team.
Speaking of Huddersfield, where's Aaron Moy nowadays? Is he still there?
He's on loan at Brighton.
Oh yeah, he got sent off against us, didn't
he? Yeah. I don't know if they're going to get him permanently or not.
I don't think he barely plays, does he?
He's always been very good, Aaron Moy. He's 29 now as well. He's always gone under the radar.
Oh.
I had Calvin Phillips in there as well, and Abraham, but Abraham's a weird one.
Yeah, because with Werner coming,
because
I want to see where
we're just about staying up in the Premier League. There's going to be a lot of better teams than us in the league that will go from before, and we'll likely join them over us. So if we did stay up, it would be hard to get him.
I'm surprised that Leipzig didn't try to get him as part of the Timo Werner deal.
I reckon he'd do well in Bundesliga. I look at Sancho. Think what Tammy would do like in the Bundesliga.
He's still one of the top scorers in the league this season as well.
Yeah, Chelsea fans play him so much.
Yeah, he gets slagged off a lot.
That's the thing with top 6 fans.
They're just used to fucking don't know, fucking goal after goal after goal for their striker. Not maybe in recent years, but when they've had Maratas and stuff. But he was so good for us last season. Definitely one of the biggest reasons we went on.
Most definitely.
And but it goes back to he's that good now that there's going to be better teams that will come in for him, and he'll join them over us most likely if we do even stay up. He's not going to come down to Championship, obviously.
Yeah, he's a Champions League striker now.
Yeah, that's even if Chelsea want to get rid of him, because I know they bought Werner in, but they might say no, we're not getting rid of him.
And they'll be dangerous next year, won't they? Ziyech, Werner.
Ziyech, yeah. They're going to be dirty. With how good Liverpool are and with Man City are probably going to fucking
They need to sort of defence, really, don't they?
Yeah.
Chelsea defence just, have all of that and just that defence.
They're on par with us yesterday. I said on Twitter. I said on Twitter 10 years ago that would have been a good thing. Is to just, they're really bad.
But yeah, I mean, we're literally on to the last point now, which was someone's asked where we think Villa will be in the future if we stay up versus where we'll be if we go down. And I've said something that I think that, so for stay up, I've said something that I think you both agree with, that if we do manage to stay up, we're not getting relegated for 30
for years, mate. For years, we'll be a staying power again, 100%. Especially if we let Dean Smith or whoever's in charge sign his own players. I think we'll be fine. Yeah. We've got enough players that will stay. Mings would stay. Gilbert, House, Ponta, Wesley, Samata, El Ghazi would stay, even though I don't think he's good enough for it.
I fail to see who'd be
just as an example. McGinn would stay. So if we stay up, a lot of our good players stay, and we'll only build on that, and we'll just hopefully build on the team. We'll have to sell it to him a bit, because we are a team that, if we do stay up, we've just literally scraped our status in the Premier League. So we are going to have to
the investment will
sell
the players around us.
Yeah, we are going to have to sell it to a lot of players we're trying to get in, especially if they're half decent.
Yeah,
and maybe throw money at them, but I think if we, this is never going to happen, most likely. But I think if we do stay up, maybe try everything we can to keep Grealish. But I will say, if it means that we have to hold back on signing 2 or 3 players to do everything we can to keep him, or you pay him more or whatever, then I don't think it's worth it. I think the money off Grealish is much more worth it, especially if it's 80 million.
Yeah.
But it's how we spend it, so this is why I want our fucking manager to be able to sign his own players and not have some fucking Spanish shopkeeper tell him what to fucking do and whatever.
But on the opposite side of that, for if we go down, I've said I don't think it'll be like when we went down the first time, where we spend 3 years down there and then come up on the third. I think one of 2 things will happen. It'll be one extreme or the other. Either we'll go up first season, or we could fall into the danger of becoming the new Leeds.
Yeah, I kind of agree, because it goes back to what I said about going down with a better squad. We'd be better off going down now than we were the first time, because tighter unit squad. There's a lot more squad harmony. We're going down with better players that are good in that league. I think
manager as well for it.
Dean Smith for the Championship, 100%. I don't know if we'll come straight back up though. I also don't think
we could definitely challenge for it, but I don't see it happening straight away.
I also don't think it's good to come straight back up either, because we've not set up a team that's ready. I think part of the Championship is slowly over time you've got to build a team together that's, when they go up, they're ready for the Championship, for the Premier League. But then again, we were down there for years, and we came back up with a team that's not. Well, the players we bought as well is part of that, but they've just not been good to. And Sheffield United is crazy, because on paper, Sheffield United's team is worse than ours.
Yep, that's the problem.
But for some whatever reason, we've scored. I think we've scored a lot more goals than them, but they've conceded a lot less, because their defensive unit has just been fucking so good. Chris Wilder is like one of the best managers in that league right now. It's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah. And what are your thoughts on Sean Dyche coming to us if we stay up?
I very much like it, but he has to be able to sign the players that he wants.
Yeah.
So I would like him to come, but
it depends on how much you care about the style of football that you want to see us play.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you don't care and you just want to see results, then it's gonna be hoofball or whatever.
It's not going
to be pretty football. We're going to be scoring from set pieces, but that will be a very good thing for us because we're so bad at defending from set pieces and so bad at scoring from them. The Sean Dyche would definitely fucking drill that into us. But yeah. I don't want to sack Smith because I do think a lot of it is to do with the recruitment system. But I think he has made some questionable decisions at times.
Yeah.
Obviously, not going two up top sooner against Newcastle is a recent one in memory.
Yeah, that one
fucking
really
the Al Ghazi Trezeguet sub every game. only trying to score when we're 1-0 down or 2-0 down with 5 minutes left. But if he had his own players, we might not be in those situations as often as we have been. So
if we had more pay, we probably scored more goals.
With Neil Mopey.
Yeah,
I wanted Neil Mopey.
You know how to use him.
I'm surprised I didn't put him down actually. I wanted Neil Mopey before we signed Wesley. I said it was almost like shortly written in the stars that Neil Mopey and Ben Rama were going to fucking Dean Smith players from Brentford, and we didn't get either of them. Baffled me. They would have joined as well, 100%. So
good in class.
It comes back down to the recruitment.
You know exactly how to use them.
You don't know what. Yeah, you don't know what happens behind the scenes with recruitment. He probably wanted those players and just. But then I don't know. Even Suso, the players he's got, I don't know how he could sit there and go, "No, I don't think we should get him. I don't think we should get Ben Rama. I don't think we should get Mopey."
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I don't know. It's a weird one. I mean, if Suso did say, "No, I don't want Ben Rama," then I don't understand the thought process behind, "No, I don't want this player who's already proven to be really good in England. I want this guy from the Turkish league."
That's my point. So it's like you don't know, man.
Got a team this season.
We don't see behind the curtain enough to know.
It's a tough one because I mean, literally, we say all this, but for all we know, Suso could have said that he wants Ben Rama and Dean Smith said no. Like, we're never going to actually know what happened.
Exactly. I mean, logic would tell you the opposite, but you never know.
Well, we've covered everything that we planned on. I guess the only way to really sign off is basically just to say, if you're watching this on YouTube, then make sure you subscribe and drop a like, or even comment. Let us know what you want to see on the next episode. Let us know if there's anything that you think we could improve on. Stay tuned for more episodes. Follow us on Twitter @Effin Skipper. And I think that's it. So
yeah. Also, by the way, we know this first episode is probably not going to be great, to be honest. It is. As soon as you press record, it's just so weird and different. It's like much harder to talk about stuff and just keep your train of thought and things like that. So we understand like this episode is going to be a bit fucking up and down, but also the quality of the audio is going to get better because we've invested in some equipment. But
we've ordered microphones and stands and stuff and pop filters ready for the next episode. So in time. We
just need to get used to the podcast format. Obviously, like we can talk shit to each other, not recording like nothing. But when you turn it on and you know you're being recorded, you've got to talk about stuff and know what you're talking about. It's very hard. So.
But,
if it was shit, we apologise.
Yeah, so literally that's the best way to put it. If it wasn't very good and it's not quite what you were expecting, just keep in mind that obviously first episode, new podcast, things are going to get better. We are going to put time into this, time and effort to make sure that this does get better. Like I say, we've invested in getting proper microphones as well, just to make sure that we can up the quality a bit. But yeah, so I think that's all we really have to say. So just to reiterate, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, drop us a follow if you're listening on Spotify, and follow us on Twitter at Effin Skipper. So I guess we'll hopefully see you in the next episode.
Class.